Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you doing on this fine Monday morning? Just a couple quick tech sound check issues. Want to make sure y'all can hear me. If you can go ahead and go over to that chat box on the left-hand side of the screen, that lets me know that you can hear me. It also lets me know that you know where that chat box is. Awesome. Good morning. Good morning. So another few housekeeping things. We will be recording today's session, so you will get a copy of the recording as soon as I have it available to me to send out. And that will come to you via email. This morning, we're going to be talking about how to use your blog to really increase your search engine optimization. It looks like Suzanne can't hear me. Suzanne, you may need to check your sound on your computer. Oh, perfect. I was just typing to you, Suzanne. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in and talk a little bit more about how blogging can increase your search engine optimization. Before we do that, how many of you are, good morning, Maria. How many of you are blogging? How many of you currently are blogging at least once a month? Awesome. So we have a real grab bag of both today. We have some people who have been blogging and have been doing it a long time. Good job, Layla. And some of people who have not done it at all. Awesome. So Beth writes the occasional LinkedIn article. That's awesome. Cool. So here's the thing. We're all super busy in our industry. And if you've been in the industry over 2 years, the last 2 years have been hectic. If you're just starting, so Maria, you must be just getting into the industry as a whole. Blogging is a great way to increase your search engine optimization. It's a great way to organically compete with some of the larger sites. And it is something that can really help your business. So when I say search engine optimization, how many of you know what I mean when I say that? Cool. Awesome. So I won't jump down that rabbit hole. Search engine optimization is really indexing your page at a higher rate based on the content that it provides. And so we want to give your page really good indexing on Google and Bing and Yahoo. And blogging can absolutely be a way to do that. Really, the first step in blogging that increases that search engine optimization is that you need to write posts that include keywords. So really including not just keywords of real estate and real estate for sale, but those long string keywords. A long string keyword is a keyword that someone would put into a Google or a Yahoo or a Bing that would be bigger. So someone may put in a long string keyword that is buying an investment property in Grand Junction, Colorado, looking to buy a first-time home in Detroit, Michigan, searching for new bungalows in Toronto, Canada. So they're longer phrases that people are putting into that keyword search. What's really nice about those long string keyword searches is, as a real estate agent, you have the answers to a lot of the questions your consumers are writing. So off the top of your head, I want you all to comment in that chat box, what is the number, maybe one of the top 3 questions that you get asked with buyers? And what is one of the top 3 questions you get asked with sellers? Because those are the topics for blog posts that can really make a difference in what your blogs are. So yeah, what's the market doing? And Nikki, I would really focus that down to your market. Home values in this. How much is my home worth in today's market area? How long is it going to take to sell my home? What's the average size of the house in the market? What are the best improvements I can do on my home to make it easier to sell? Should I really buy now if prices are dropping? So I think a lot of times we get hung up in, oh my gosh, what am I going to write in this blog post? And where am I going to come up with the content? So those are all really good questions that your consumers are asking, and they are also asking them to Google. So if your consumers are asking you the question, know that they're also asking them in Google. And so when they go to Google and they type that in and your site's one that comes up as a validator of that source, it only validates your knowledge in the industry. So when you're writing those posts, think about your title and how people are searching the internet. Awesome. So the second thing that you need to do to increase your search engine optimization with blogs is be consistent. You really need to post on a regular basis. And I'm sure that you all have heard this from your brokers and a lot of people in your life, but be consistent. Put a day on the calendar that you are going to sit down and get your blog posts done. If it's once a week, that's awesome. If it's once a month, that's awesome. If it's once a quarter, great. It just needs to be something that you're consistently doing. And what I have found to be extremely useful in this, because there might be a week or a month that I don't have content, is I start writing down all those questions. I start writing down all those questions that people have. Your blog post does not need to be a 1,000-word essay or, a 20,000 page paper. It can really be a few short paragraphs of the market with some photos of the area and perhaps some links to outside sources or internal links to other blog posts. We'll get to that in just a moment. But really being consistent and keeping a list of all those ideas. I travel around, I carry a little notebook with me wherever I go, and I write down all my ideas in that notebook so that when it's time to sit down and create my content or do my post or whatever it is, I have a list of content to pull from. That's really helped me. The third thing is include topics other than homes for sale. I want you all to look just quickly at the questions that came up that you all shared. So there's a lot more than posting about homes for sale. It's great to share a flyer or information about a home you have for sale in that blog post. That can definitely help increase. So if you take a new listing, doing a blog post that links through to the website, your website showcase for that listing, and it talks a little bit about the community that it's in and that part of it, that's awesome. But there's other things that you can talk about. Should you really buy now if prices are dropping? How will interest rates affect the purchase of my home if they go up or down? Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? When do you think the market will change? Why would I use a real estate agent? That search engine optimization is a huge deal. The other piece of it that's a really big deal is validating consumers and giving them value before they need it. So if you become their trusted source before they know they need the information, you will gain their trust and gain more clients. So the next thing we're going to talk about is increasing your traffic. So sharing it on your social media, if you're blogging on your LinkedIn, sharing that to your Facebook, share your posts out there so that people know you're blogging. If you're not telling people you're blogging, if you're not putting something in your email signature or in your Facebook, hey, I posted this blog today, you're definitely missing out on traction. If you have people who avidly follow you, they are your consumers who love you, let them spread the word about the great information you're sharing. The other thing that sharing it on social media will do, especially when it comes to Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, is you will gain traction because other people in the industry will share it. So Layla might share her blog post and I may go in and see that it's a good article and share it again. Yep. There's some great sites that you can join, Layla. And the other thing you can do, and I've seen this be really successful for people, is ending your article in questions. What did you think of this article? What are the things you've done to your home? What do you think about the market? Asking a question to end it open-minded increases the chances of engagement. So if you're just writing an article in an article form, I think about like going and reading a newspaper article. That's awesome. That's really awesome. But the other piece of that is you're not asking people to engage. So people are not going to engage if you don't ask them for that engagement. So it is really beneficial to, at the end of your article, write a little question that says something like, did you enjoy this article? Is there something you would like to see more information about? What do you think about what your home was worth? Have you had your home evaluated lately? What are the projects that you've enjoyed doing on your home? But really asking those questions actively in order to get the consumers and the people to engage with you is a really great thing, because the way that websites, search engines are determining if your site has valid content, there's several ways, but one of them is a bounce rate. And what that means is once people get to your page, do they stay there and read what you're saying and then go to other pages on your site? Or do they get there and bounce right off or right back to the search results because what they got wasn't valid? That's one way. The other thing they look at is engagement level. So if people are going to your site, staying on your site, and then engaging with you, search engines then have a way to validate your content as valuable to consumers. And so the higher that those engagement rates are, the better off your blog will do, the higher your search engine rankings will be. Cool. So that's a lot of information in that first 12 minutes. We're going to jump into how do you do this within your IQ office. Before we do that, do you have any questions about these 5 things that you should be doing when you're blogging? So we talked about writing posts that include main keywords and long string keywords, being consistent, including topics other than homes that are for sale, sharing it through your social media channels, and connecting with your audience by asking questions. That's a good question, Beth. So Beth asked, how do YouTube videos contribute, and what is the best way to increase SEO using videos? So this is my opinion about videos. Videos are like the #1 way to reach your contacts. I think that YouTube is a great source for posting videos and increasing that SEO. I think that today we're really focused on what you're doing in your blog. However, YouTube is a search engine. And so if you are thinking about creating videos to benefit your business, this is what I would do, is I would do both. I would go to YouTube and I would maybe do a 2 to 3 minute video max. People get pretty busy in their lives, and say, hey, super excited about this week's monthly video. We're going to be talking about the home values in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho today, and what they've done over the last 6 months. Here's all the information. This is, prices are starting to stable out. We're seeing the days on market start to stretch out a little longer in certain price points. These are the things that we typically see moving into winter season. Super excited. Put that video on YouTube, and then I would embed it on my blog post so that I could have a written statistical, here's what home values are doing. And then I could also have a video, because then you're reaching 2 different kinds of consumers. Beth, you're reaching the consumers that only want video, because there are consumers that only want video, but you're also reaching the people who just don't really have time to watch a video and just need a quick bulleted snippet of what's going on. I can, Susan. I will share that on our Facebook page this afternoon. Does that work? LaRhonda, that is where we're going next. So LaRhonda asks, Susan asks, can you share a few good examples of blogs of work in the industry? And I will absolutely do that. I'll share that on the Facebook page this afternoon. If you're not a member of the Facebook page, don't worry. I'm going to show you where that is at the end of the session today. And LaRhonda asked the great question of where should I be blogging? And that's exactly where we're going. So where can you go to blog that really would benefit you? So you all should be able to see my screen now. I know it's a little fuzzy. We're working on getting that resolved. I'm going to scroll in and we're going to talk just briefly about keeping people on your website. So you all have an IQ website to drive traffic to. It shows listings. It's automatically updated with all the listings from your the boards that you're a member of, and it is a great place to capture leads for your listings. However, you also can blog on that site, and the goal of having a blog on your real estate website is people get to your site and they spend more time. So maybe they get to your site by finding a blog post about what it's like to buy a bungalow in San Diego, California, and what the price point of that is. But then they see that they can go and they can search for bungalows for sale in San Diego, and they're spending more time on your site. They're converting into leads for you, and you're becoming their trusted source. So within your IQ office, to set that blog up, you're going to go to marketing on the left-hand side of your screen, and there's a section called blogs. Now, as an office admin, I'm logged in as an office admin in here. I see everybody's blog. But what we're going to do today is we're going to walk through creating a blog from scratch and what to do. So we're going to say my blogs. And if you do not have a blog yet and you want to start one, you're going to click the plus new box in the upper right-hand corner. So that being said, if you have a blog on another site and you want to bring those blogs over, you're still going to have to create your blog within your IQ office. And then you can copy and paste and backdate blog posts to have content on your IQ page. So we're going to name this blog. Maybe this blog is Real Estate Connection North Idaho. And then you can choose if you have an administrator of this. So if you're on a team and you need one of your team members to be the admin, you can choose that from here, or you can choose none. You choose your notification settings. So do you want to be notified of a new entry? Again, if you're on a team, the answer to that is yes. Do you want to be notified of new comments? Yes or no. Is the status of this blog active or inactive? It's active. Do you want users to have to log in to leave comments? Yes or no? This is up to you. If you say yes, then they're going to have to create an account on your site. You're going to get a lead notification before they can comment. If you choose no, then they'll just be able to comment as is. You choose that information. Are comments allowed? Yes or no? Do you want them to drop off after a certain amount of time? Yes or no? And company blogs. So if your company has a blog, so if your office admin or your office manager or your broker has a blog that they're creating, do you want to include those entries on your blog? Yes or no? This is what I recommend. If you are a super consistent person, it seems like Layla on today's call is very consistent. She's been blogging for a long time. She doesn't struggle to remember to do that. And she's really good at it. I am not really good at it. I try to get a blog post up once a month. It ends up being probably about every 6 weeks right now, but I make sure that I include my entries from my company's blog so that I consistently have new content on my website and it doesn't look like I forgot to post for the last 6 weeks. That's a good question. So Nikki asked, what's your recommendation about comments logging and comments dropping off? I recommend that you do set this, you require people to log in before they leave comments. And yes, Annette asked, if we have it set to yes as a comment allowed, can we delete that comment if we want to? And the answer is yes. And I recommend not disabling those comments, because if you say, hey, I want those comments to drop off after 2 years, maybe you have a client right now and you write a blog post about their home. So you've got a client, their house is for sale, you go in, you write a blog post about their community and their home, and then that consumer goes in and leaves a raving comment about how great you are on that blog post. Super excited, I can't believe you did this, we love living here, it's awesome. The average life cycle of someone in a home is between 6 and 10 years, according to the National Association of Realtors. And so it is really important that even though that comment is 2 years old, that consumer still feels that you value their opinion 2 years later. And other people who are getting into that buy cycle, which is super long, can still go back and see your client's comments or comments on your content from years past. Yeah, and Layla says, brings up a good point. She says she always allows comments because they're more constructive criticism, and the better my page gets, and I have the opportunity to recalibrate my thoughts. The other thing I have on that note is if you receive a negative comment on your blog, it's a really good time to accept constructive criticism and have it on your page versus a different page. It also is an opportunity to respond to a consumer. So anytime a consumer has something to say that maybe is not gleaming stars, maybe you write a post about the top 5 things to do to renovate your home, and someone says, hey, Annette, I read this article. I think that you're missing this, 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 and this. It's a really good opportunity for you to engage with them and say, hey, Nikki, thanks for your feedback. You're absolutely right. There are several more things that could be added to this list. What did you like doing this? And it opens up the opportunity for conversation and relationship. And we are all in the customer service relationship building industry. Any other questions on that? Really good questions here today. Cool. So let's keep going down. Below this include entries from companies. There's a section that says rights. And if you're a team member and you want to add other people on your team so that they have the ability to post and you can have a team blog, you can add that by using this add button. Once you've set all of your default settings, you're going to click the save button in the upper right-hand corner. That saves your blog. You can then see it here, Real Estate North Idaho Connection. And when you click on it, it can go in and you'll see other options here at the top. So now all of a sudden there is an entries button. So now you can get to that entry screen by going to marketing and my blogs. You also can go by, I need to refresh my screen here quick, by going to marketing and clicking on the blog that you want to add entries to. Once you open up the blog, so I'm in the actual blog back end right now, you are going to create your first entry by clicking create your first entry here, or you can always click the plus new button up here. When you create your first entry, it is going to pull out the edit screen and you're going to be able to give your entry a title, a subtitle, and a text. So I might have this be, is Denver experiencing a shifting real estate market? Also, how many of you are good spellers while we're talking about this? How many of you are good spellers and how many of you rely on spell check? So if you rely on spell check, put an R in the comment box. And if you are an A+ speller, put an A+ in the check box or in the comment box. Awesome. I was just going to talk about that, Layla. So I am a spell check fiend. When I was in elementary school, I took a typing class. My teacher docked us word per minute for every word misspelled. And by the time we got through correcting all my words misspelled, I failed my typing test. I told that teacher that at one point in my life, the computer would be able to check my spelling and grammar for me, that it was a typing test, not a spelling test. That did not go over well, in case any of you are worried about that. And I got detention. So for those of you like me who are R's, rely on spell check, there is an app called Grammarly, Grammerly. It's free. There's a paid version of it, but there's a free version of it. You install it on your browser and it checks your spelling and your grammar for you on any website that you're on. So I applaud you A+ spellers. We're going to get to that, Raymond. Raymond asked a question that we're going to come to this afternoon. And Beth said, how often do you recommend repeating our long stream keyword sequences for maximum results? I recommend always using long-term keywords in your blog. It's a great place to do it. It's a really good place to focus it. It's also, when people are typing in that much into a search bar, they're looking for specific examples. I would do my best to not repeat the same string over and over. So we all live in areas that have different communities, and every community might be experiencing a different sub-market type. But I would recommend, highly recommend, not repeating content on your page if at all possible. But maybe you're doing, is Denver experiencing a shifting real estate market? And that's because that's what people are talking about right now. I feel like that's something that's coming up in conversation in Coeur d'Alene quite a bit, actually. But, you know, in 4 years, it might be shifting again. So maybe you change this to, is Denver experiencing a negative or a downward shifting market, or an upward shifting market, or a plateauing market? You just would change the tone of it a little bit and you would have different content. You can add that subtype. What will the fourth quarter, what are my fourth quarter predictions for home sales? Oh, in each article. Thank you. So Beth clarifies. How often do you repeat those keywords in each article? I would say probably I put them in the title and I make sure that they're in that content at least twice. But keep in mind, people are going to be reading it. So you don't want it to just say, there's a difference in, you can get great initial search engine optimization by just repeating that keyword in a bulleted list over and over and over and over again. But what will happen is when consumers get to your page, they're going to bounce off because it doesn't have any information that they're looking for. So it is a balance of making sure that it's in there enough that the internet can find it. I would say, depending on how long your article is, a minimum of 2 times, once in the heading, once in the body. But if you can work it into the content that you're writing 2 to 3 times, that is beneficial. This is long-term search engine optimization. It is creating content that keeps people on your page and is valuable to consumers. Yeah, no problem. Great questions. So then you're going to type your content. You're going to type it in this search box right here. I'm just going to type content here, and you can write as much content as you would like. You also can insert images. So if I want to insert an image, I can do that. I would just add a file. I would choose the file from here, and it's going to insert that flyer in. I also can go in and I can create a link. So if you want to end the article with, to search for homes in this submarket and see what is for sale now, click here. You can do that. You would click insert the link. You would paste the URL here. You can also choose the text to display. So you may say to search homes You can do that, Layla. I'm going to show you. In XYZ community, click here. It will create that hyperlink for you. You want to open it in a new window, and then you click OK. Also, if you want to embed a link, so what that means is you're on your YouTube channel and you created a video. So you created a video about the market. Hey, here's my quick market update. When you click share here, there is an embed feature. So you click embed and you copy this code. I copy it. Then when I go back to my IQ office blog page, there's a place in the left-hand corner that says source code. And here you can go in and you can paste that code so that that video embeds in your actual post. So when we were talking about blog posts and videos up here before, you may have a bulleted list. Is Denver experiencing a shifting real estate market? This is why I think it is. This is why I think it's not. This is what I see happening in the next few weeks. And then on the upper left-hand corner next to formats, there's a source code button where you can embed that source code. And that video you made can then embed into the blog. I wonder, Layla, if I can snip it and send it to you. We're going to find out if I can put comments in. I can't put visual comments in the chat box. Perfect. Awesome. So next to formats, there's that code. You can embed it. You can put that in there so that your video is automatically embedded in your website. What's really cool about this is the goal is to keep people on your website so that they're reading your blog post, they're watching your video, they're going and searching your listings, they are staying on your page. Yes, Suzanne. Because people like videos. So as search engines are going out and looking for content, when it looks at your page, it sees that there's not only a text option for information, but there's also a video option. So it's seeing that your page has two types of content for people to consume instead of just one. So for those of you that are listening and don't have the chat box open, Suzanne asked, when embedding this video, does it increase your search engine optimization? The answer is yes. Cool. On the right-hand side of this, there is a place where you can say status active or inactive. You also can choose to have blog posts come down after a certain amount of time if you'd like. So if you have a house that sells that you need to take off, you can go in and mark that post as inactive if you've done a blog post about it. Allow comments. You can also control this from the individual blog post, and you can change the date that it's posted. So you can go in, and if you're importing blogs from prior, you can say, hey, I want this to post on July 1st, 2019. You also can add categories. So as you're adding categories, there are some categories that will show up from your company's blog. But if you need to add market statistics, you can add that. And then after you add it once, it will always be in there. And then you can also have a featured image. So you can go in, you can say, hey, I need a featured image. I'm trying to find a photo to put in there. That image into this box. You can then edit it if you want, change that photo, delete that photo out. Once you're done posting it all and you click save, then when you click close, that blog title is here for you all. So any questions about going in Office? And creating the entries. So Susan asks, we talk about using articles and videos from other sites. For instance, Mountain Living Design allows you to share their articles to Facebook. Can those be reposted on my blog? What are the legal ramifications? Suzanne, I do not live in your state, so I don't know the answer to that. I also don't know what your relationship is with Mountain Living Design. So this is my recommendation. Mountain, and I don't know all of this, so some of this is assumption only, so take it with a grain of salt and I would go ask them as well. If Mountain Living Design is allowing you to post on your Facebook and you want to repost those articles to your blog, as long as you have written permission from Mountain Living Design, you should be able to do that. The reason they're allowing you to share articles on their Facebook page is because it links back to their website. So when you share articles that they've written on your website and consumers click through, they end up on their website. It would be beneficial to have that content on your website and share it so that consumers were ending up back on your website, because that is something that you want. You want people to get to your site. I also, when I'm getting ready to write a blog post, I also go through and I read like 6 or 7 different articles about it to educate myself, and then I form my own opinion and write it. So if you read an article that Mountain Living Design that has some really good insight, and you want to write an article, say, I'm guessing that they're like, are they a furniture or an interior design company, or are they like a home builder? Suzanne? Yeah. So if they read an article about like this year's trends in log homes or something like that, and you read it and you're like, oh, that's actually a really good point. You might want to write an article about the treasures of owning a mountain cabin in XYZ community. And you're going to write about, a few homes that are for sale. What are the winters like? What are the roads like? And if you're looking for a really good vendor, I recommend this person. You might be able to work with them and give them some credit on your blog, which is always good. Yep. I didn't, Maria. So Layla brought up a really good point. If you could do an interview with the general contractor or their designer and do 45 seconds to a minute and a half about their company on your YouTube channel, that would be great content, and it's a great plug for that company. Original content always will perform better, Suzanne. So anytime you're creating content, your own content rather than copied content will always be better, because Google or a search engine are only finding it one place. And for a word count, I would say I said it does not need to be a long essay. I would say 3 to 5 paragraphs or so. I don't know that there's a very specific, this is the number of words in a real estate blog that do the best. But 3 to 5 paragraphs, good information. Nobody wants to read an essay. Videos included in your posts are always better. My name is Kelsey, Maria. My name's Kelsey Fulton. Cool. So Raymond asked a really good question. Raymond asked, hey, I've done all this in the back of IQ Office, but my blog isn't showing up on my website. What the heck is happening? Why isn't it showing up? And so we're going to go through that. So on your website, if you've chosen a template that does not have a blog as part of it, so you've gone to your website, you've edited it, it's beautiful, and your blog's not showing up. You have chosen a template that does not, in this design section, that does not have a blog on it. That's okay. You do not have to have that. You can edit your menu item. So this website right here at the top, it says Best Company Blog right here. You can edit your menu. So when you click edit here, you can, I'm going to actually just delete this off real quick so I can show it. You're going to go in, you're going to go to IQ pages, and you're going to be able to scroll through and choose your blog page, blog. I want to name it my blog page, or real estate in North Idaho connection, whatever you want it, the real estate connection blog. And if you want it to be a top menu, you can say, hey, I want to add it as a top menu source, and now it's here. Save. Also, if you've chosen something like, let's see if this template has it, like this. So down here at the bottom, where you have these tiles that say finding a home, you could create one of these that was connected. So you could edit the tile, go into panel 4 and say real estate connection blog. I want this to be learn more from my blog. And again, I want to select that link. I'm going to go to IQ pages, and I'm going to select at the bottom the blog source. Okay, okay, and it's going to connect. Now when I scroll down here, I can see learn more from my blog right here. So if you've chosen a template that doesn't have a blog as part of it, you can either add it to the top menu at your screen, or you can add it as an icon on here. If you do not have an option to do that, you should, but if you don't, and I know that there's office admins on this call, so Lisa and Annette and Margaret, if you're not an office admin, ignore what I'm going to say right now. It does not affect you. If you are an office admin and someone's blog is not showing up, or it's the wrong blog showing up, you're going to go into the admin button. You're going to go into the domains section, and then you're going to go to the agent tab at the top of the screen, locate the agent, and about halfway down here, there is a blog section that you're going to need to connect their blog to. You just choose from the drop down, click save, and now it's linked. For all the rest of you, if you're an agent, you should just go in, you'll connect, you'll choose my blog, and it will go through. Raymond, did that answer your question? And Susan, did that answer your question? So you're going to add it to a menu item. You're going to change a tile to be connected to your blog. If it's still not working, you're going to go to your office admin, and they're going to make sure that your blog is connected to you. That should not be the issue. Annette and Lisa and Margaret, did that, and all the other office admins on here, I know there's more of you. Did that make sense to you all? Julie? Cool. So if an agent's not showing up, you're going admin, domains, agent, finding that agent site, connecting that blog. Perfect. Awesome. So here's the goal. We're coming into the end of the year. Super exciting. Gearing up for 2020. I want you to write down your goal for how many times or how often you want to be blogging in 2020. And then I want you to start stockpiling. So what we talked about it a little. We talked about backdating blog posts, but you can also go in and you can predate blog posts. So if you do a new blog entry over here where it says posted on, you can schedule these out. So if you're going to do one a week, you can start now and start posting them ahead of time so that you can be stockpiled and ahead of the game. You're welcome, Layla. Have a great day. Thank you for all your knowledge and sharing as well during this webinar. So 52 blogs a year, once a week, 6 maybe it's every 6 weeks, maybe it's every 3 weeks, whatever it is, write it down and start now and post or predate them so that they're starting in January of 2020 and you're a little bit ahead of the game and you're a little bit stockpiled so that when your clients come up and your business gets busy, you have a little bit of cushion room. Give yourself a cushion. Predate them. Susan, I like Mondays, personally. I think people are going on, they're looking for things, they're looking for information dense. And I would say like Monday afternoons are always good. Think about when you go to read and get information. Last thing, where do you go to find this information after today's webinar? So it is being recorded and you will get a digital copy of it. We also have a Facebook page. That Facebook page is called the Realistic Users. Hang on, I just clicked the wrong one. The Realistic Users group. I'm going to put this link right now into the chat box for y'all so you have it. If you click on that link, it'll open in a different tab. We do our best to make sure that we're answering questions in video form here. We also have a YouTube channel. All of our webinars forever and ever are always posted here as well, along with other information dense how-tos. So you can go to our YouTube channel and get additional help if you need it. And we post all of our trainings online. So showtime.com. Hang on, I typed it wrong. I'm going to put this link in too so you don't have to worry about typing it. But you can always find our webinars there. Showtime.zoho.com. If you register for the webinar, you will always get a copy of it. So if you see a webinar you want to attend, but you can't make it, go ahead, go in, register for it, and you'll get a digital copy. Other questions that you have for me? Want to make sure you're getting the information. We are right at that 48-minute mark. I want to make sure that you are not overwhelmed. And that we're providing value. So if you have questions, I'm happy to stay and answer them. If not, I want to make sure I exit out of this so that it starts rendering and get you the copy of the digital. Lorenda, the best way to ask questions is on that Facebook page. Yep. So if you have asked questions on that Facebook page, if you have the question, Lorenda, I'm sure other people do as well, and I'll make sure that we get them answered via video. That helps with the time zone differences as well, because not all of you are on the same time zone I am. Awesome. 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 Well, I hope you all have a wonderful